Fat Joe calls Irv Gotti a sucker after his Ashanti comments. And low key, he's acting like one. What up, world? Your boy Challz Brown back again for another Talking Facts. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. So I know all of this rap stuff is WWE. It's all wrestling. It's all fake and this and that and the third. Not really, but low key in a way, because these guys are friends, right? I thought that I heard Irv Gotti say that he was bringing Fat Joe on tour with him when he did the Murder Inc. reunion tour, right? So these guys are cool. But he also, you can call your man a sucker when he being a sucker. And Irv Gotti, low-key, acting very, very suspect with this situation with Ashanti. Now, I get it. He on Drink Champs. They drinking. They getting nice. They getting, you know what I'm saying? I'm a little sliz. I get that, right? But the sliz bring out the truth. And he was high. He was drunk. And every time he goes on there, he gets in a bag of just, I'm going to get really ill on here. So it's not the drink and the alcohol. It's how he feels, and this is how he is all day, every day. Mad wired up, mad pent up, mad holding on to mad things from the past. Because it seemed like every time he come on here, he's mad about something from the past. And he's trying to get it off his chest and get it off as angrily, as loud as he can. And this thing with Ashanti, bro, like, what we talking about? 20 years ago, right? Like he got on Drink Champs and said, I found out about Ashanti because me and Ashanti was together. Ashanti is his artist, if y'all don't know. They got mad records together and they can't stand each other at this point. But at one point, he was her CEO and they were dating, they were smashing. And he had a wife. So Ashanti's probably like, I get it that we doing what we doing, but it ain't going nowhere because you got a wife at home. So I'm going to go out and do what I'm doing, right? She got out there and got with Nelly. She went and got a fish on the hook just like he had a fish. He has several fishes. And he said he was watching a basketball game one day and she came out with Nelly, as you do when you're single. When you're being treated like a mistress, you're going to do mistress things. You're going to get another man. You was at home watching the game. What she supposed to do, right? So he was speaking on, he was getting really, really agitated, and it's 20 years later and you still mad. He starts saying, this bitch, that bitch, da-da-da-da-da. You reserve words for that, for a woman like that you just had the issue with like 2 weeks ago. Or 2 days ago. I don't know if you're still calling somebody a bitch 20 years later for some stuff they did that you was playing the game with them. Like, this is my thing. The game is to be played. If you're going to play the game, you got to play by the rules. It's rules. You got a wife. You got a play bunny. The play bunny plays with you when you are around. When you're not around, she got her own life. These the guys that got the game messed up. When they have a wife and they fall in love with something else, and then now you on there talking about God meant for me to see it. God meant for you to see it because you playing a game that you obviously not built to play. So at the end of the day, you're still mad at 20 years later. You got the girls mastering, which is fine. It is what it is. He's right. If he has her mastering, he doesn't have to give it back to her because that's how he eats. She doesn't get automatic reverse a master just because she wants it. He's right. He doesn't have to give her music back. He doesn't have to. She can recreate it all she wants, but it's not going to sound like it was, right? So he's right. He can keep her masters and eat off of it forever. But it's a lot of other little things that's coming out that made it feel like it was because of she smashed Nelly and he didn't like it. And not only that, she turned her back on the so-called family, the record company family. My thing about these record company families, they only families till they not. All right? Dame and Jay, they was Rock La Familia. And now them dudes won't even sit in the same room together. I could tell you a million rap families that we thought was going to be families forever, and they not, right? Wu-Tang Clan. You can barely get these guys. They barely be in the same room together. It's just a fact. They couldn't even agree on how to put the show out. You God is suing RZA right now. So this family stuff sounds good until it's not. So she moved on with her life, and then this guy took offense because she moved on with her life. Instead of sticking around into a RICO situation that they're trying to lock up the entire label, she did what J-Lo did. She bounced, moved on with her life, but he's still holding that against her. So he's on this Drink Champ show. He's getting high. He's drunk. He's calling her a bitch and this and that and the third. And Ja Rule getting caught up in the crossfire because he's friends with both of them. And to Ja Rule's credit, what nobody's talking about, he did stop him and say, bro, you can't keep calling them bitches, meaning black women. You can't call her a bitch. He checked them. He did. Nobody's talking about that. Everybody's talking about Fat Joe came out and said he's a sucker, and Ja Rule sat there and ain't do nothing. Now, Ja Rule made a good point. He said, I told him not to stop calling bitches, just like I told you to stop calling them bitches when you was calling them bitches when we did the verses, and I had two chicks come out. I think it was Vita and somebody else, and you was like, who them skinny bitches? Something like to that effect. So now you can't flip it and make it like, oh, now you supposed to be this and that and the third when in regards to black women when you was doing the same thing. So he has a point. So Ja Rule did, in fact, try to chill Irv Gotti. Irv Gotti he doesn't seem like a man that's going to chill out. So you could say he tried to skip the subject 100 times. This guy kept going back to it. He wanted to stay on Ashanti. He came in there with a bone to pick, and he's picked it. Because Ashanti's been doing a couple interviews lately, and it's racking his nerves, right? And people are adding him, saying whatever they're going to. He just got a $300 million deal, and he's still worrying about what Ashanti's doing. So I'm looking at Ashanti as somebody just out here trying to eat, bro. She's just out here trying to eat. She wearing her little outfit. She got her Instagram popping because she's trying to stay relevant and eat. I don't think she's sitting around trying to figure out what Irv is doing and who he's with. Right? If it's the one that got away, then treat it like that. You can't say I have no problems with none of my exes, and then go on a rant and call Ashanti a bitch 100 times. It doesn't work like that. And I'm gonna be even more honest. When you go on a show and you say, I got some dimes, bruh. The chicks I'm messing with put Ashanti to shame. That means you measuring them all up to Ashanti. Right? For that to formulate out your mouth, you're trying to prove something to yourself. Nobody in the room can't see these chicks, so they can't measure the chicks. So the only person you're trying to prove that to is yourself, bro. I'm just being the voice of reason. I ain't trying to disrespect them, man. I'm just telling you the facts. If you're in a room full of guys and they bring up your ex and you're like, man, you should see what I'm smashing now. Hey, man, they killing her. Everything I do, diamond her, they're killing her. All my chicks is back. They can't see none of them. They don't know what you're saying. They can't verify the information. So the only person that is believing that is you. It's no reason to say it because no one's asking you, are your chicks hotter than her? No one said that. So that's a scorned lover. And my advice to a scorned lover, right? If she the one that got away, that's the realest thing I could possibly say to you. Treat her like that. This girl probably would bend over and kiss the ground you walked on if you treated her like the one that got away. Not saying you got to get back with her, but if you treated this girl, if you let all that stuff go and you treated this girl with respect and love on sight, this chick would have been on that tour 10 years ago. This chick would have been wherever you asked her to be because it's love. And she knows. Ashanti looking fire right now. She knows. She's the one that got away in your heart. So who knows what would have happened? Maybe you don't want her back, but to have her open to it is what you want. You don't want an enemy walking around that can't stand you. Right? Can't stand you, don't want you around. This girl got a star on the Walk of Fame and did not ask you to be within 100 yards of this place. That means she cannot stand you. And my whole thing is, you should never let someone know you can't stand them back. And especially the public know that. Most of us didn't know y'all had a thing. Most of us didn't know something was going on with you, her, and Nelly in a triangle until you said it. Now the entire world has their mouth open and opinions about it. Right? Which you probably don't care, but she care. Now, whatever interview she gets, she got to hear this. She got to address it. They all on her page talking about it. But it don't make her look like a clown. It make you look crazy. Because you spazzed on a chick that ain't thinking about you. This is the epitome of sucker for love. Right? If you're in love with this girl, which you're saying you're not, if you are still in love with her, which it doesn't seem like anything else, because you can't be scorned without love. They don't mix. You can't scorn a person that don't love you. They can't hurt you if you didn't love them. It's just a fact. You can't be hurt if you never loved them in the first place. So you love that girl. Literally only thing Irv Gotti can do is apologize to that girl publicly. And then call that girl 100 times. Get the message to her. Listen, I'm done with hating you. That's over. Me and you done, and nothing matters but me being your friend again. I'll never bring up your name in a negative light. I'll never call you a bitch. I would never disrespect you in public or behind the scenes. This is over. And then maybe in about 3 to 5 years, you'll have that reunion. She'll be on stage dancing and singing and everything else that you need for that tour and that documentary. Nobody want to watch that without that girl. I'm just going to keep it 100 with you. Yeah, some staunch people will watch it and blah, blah. Without that girl on that show, it's not going to work. I'm just going to be 100%. Now, I'll watch it, but for the masses, it's going to be hard for anything Murder Inc. to move without this girl. With everything you say, every time you open your mouth, you make that less and less likely. This girl ain't never going to work with you again, and you need this girl for Murder Inc. to ever work again. She on half the records that y'all got. That's big records. And her records are humongous. You just got a $30 million deal. You don't need that girl's masters, to be honest with you. You don't need her stems, to be honest with you. You're still eating. If you give her the stems, you're getting paid again. So I don't understand, right? This is what we're going to say. People need to stop being vindictive. And for lack of a better word, petty. And when you have someone that you need to further your ambitions, right? You don't need her to further your stuff with Tails and everything else, but you need her to further your legacy of Murder Inc. You need that girl. It ain't even a want thing no more. You need her. Ain't no reunion tour going to work without this girl. Ain't no show going to make sense without this girl's input. Nothing makes sense. And until you become not the problem, you are the problem. Right? We got to grow up as a people. And when you are a man sitting on $300 million plus what you already had, 100, 200 million, whatever you got, you have a Billy and you're still playing the essential, like you're calling and hanging up on this girl right now. Like you're crank calling her, you keep irritating this girl. It makes no sense to anyone our age. This interview should have been like, oh man, you know what? Me and Ashanti had our differences, but I got love for her, and hopefully we can hash out whatever it is. The end. Pass me another drink. Let's move on. It's called emotions. It's got to be reined in, bro. Fat Joe did the right thing, right? He did the right thing. He checked him because nobody else was saying it. But he said it. Salute to Fat Joe. And Irv, nobody is like thinking you a chump or nothing like that. Everybody just thinking that love hurt, it hit you hard, and you need to find a new way to deal with it. And the lashing out ain't gonna get it. CLBMG.com. Check out the website, check out the page. CLBMG Networks. We blowing something up crazy. We about to get some good stuff going on. I appreciate y'all watching. I'm gonna catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.
CLB.